I've lost over 50 pounds using compounded Tirzepatide, which is the same medicine as Zepbound and Mounjaro. Are you thinking about starting a GLP-1 medication? Or maybe you've just started and need some help? You've come to the right channel. Welcome to the Downsized. This is our channel where we talk about weight loss using GLP-1 medication like Zepbound, Mounjaro, Tirzepatide, Ozempic, Wegovy, and Semaglutide. My name is Laraine Durham.
And I'm Christopher Durham.
I've lost over 50 pounds. And Christopher, how much have you lost?
78 to date, I believe. And I've used a combination of compounded Tirzepatide, Zepbound, and Mounjaro pretty much interchangeably as they've been out of stock and things have changed. And they have all worked the same, honestly.
All work the same. Please note we're not doctors. These are our own experiences and opinions. Please consult your own doctor before starting any weight loss program. I'm so happy that you found our channel, The Downsized. This medication has changed our lives, and we want everyone to know about it.
Absolutely.
That's why we started the channel, right, Christopher? We came up with 9 things you need to know when you're starting Tirzepatide, Zepbound, Mounjaro, a GLP-1 medication.
Well, so before we do the 9 things, let me ask you some questions.
All right.
I'm sitting in my house scrolling around the internet or YouTube or whatever, and I'm just heard of these things. My friend lost a bunch of weight. My doctor said, hey, have you thought about, what do I do?
You were at your doctor's, so this is a prescription medication.
Right.
So step 1 is to try to get it from your regular doctor. Sometimes that is not possible. So for me, I went online to Mochi Health and talked to their online doctor and got started with compounded Tirzepatide that way.
So if my doctor doesn't bring it up, what do I do?
You can bring it up to your doctor by all means. You might want to go with some information, printed out information in hand, because not all doctors know about these GLP-1 medications yet.
Is it embarrassing?
I think when you're talking about weight loss, it's always embarrassing, and we're trying to remove that stigma. You have to remember that obesity is a disease, okay? So if you were in the doctor's office and you were feeling dizzy and worried about your blood pressure, you wouldn't be afraid to speak up about that.
Well, so you say you have to remember, but I didn't know that maybe. So tell me about obesity as a disease.
Yeah, the American Medical Association has classified obesity as a disease.
So it's a chronic disease.
Chronic disease.
It may not necessarily be my fault.
It's not your fault.
I'm not a bad person because of it.
There's no moral failing. I've tried with diet and exercise since about age 12 to lose weight, and I was successful at times. I'd lose 30 pounds here, 50 pounds there. But it always seemed to gain it back, and especially for women, around childbirth, we gain and lose weight, and a lot of is expected of women, and yeah, it's not your fault. This battle with obesity is, most people have battled it their whole lives.
So the great thing now is these medications are a medical treatment for the disease of obesity and can really help you. And they've worked for us.
They've worked amazingly well for us.
So we have been on these medications since September of last year, 2023.
So almost a year now.
And you got to your goal weight how quickly? She has a chart.
I do have a chart. I got to my goal weight. I started at 193. My goal weight was 150 pounds. And I got to my goal weight in 27 weeks. So I lost an average of 1.58 pounds a week times 27 weeks. I lost 42.6 pounds to get to my first goal of 150 pounds. A 5 foot, I used to be 5'5", and that's where I got the 150 from. But now I've shrunk, and so I'm now 5'4 1/4. But just a little bit about me. 55 years old, 56 years old, mother of 3.
Dad, husband,
dad of 2.
All those things.
So
we started at the same time, so we've been on this adventure together. I'm 78 pounds down. I've lost, I was going to say I've lost 70. I'm 70. I'm repeating myself.
You are.
And I'm still going. My goal, I started at 286.5. My goal is to get to 190. So I've got about 16.
What do you weigh now? 203 or something like that?
No, 206.5. I think it is. About 16 pounds to go. I just want to get safely below 200. But that's where we come up with these 9 things you need to know, because we look back and it's kind of scary. It's kind of anxious.
Yeah, and that kind of brings us to the number one thing you need to know with the shots. It's giving yourself a shot is not a big deal. It's really, I was terrified at first. And being on compounded Tirzepatide, that involves an insulin needle and a syringe, which I think Christopher is going to get the examples of. Let me see the insulin needle. So the insulin needle and syringe experience is a little bit more involved because you have to, we don't have a syringe handy, but a vial handy.
No, I don't have
but you
a vial
have
handy.
to draw the medicine out of the vial into the syringe and then inject it into yourself. With the branded medication, so the Zepbound, the Mounjaro, the Wegovy, the Ozempic, it's a much easier process. You literally take the cap off, unlock it, click the button, and you're done within 30 seconds.
Right.
So if you can get the branded, if your insurance will cover it, I say go branded. If you cannot, then go the compounded route.
And so just to be really clear, so there is a medication called Tirzepatide.
Yes.
That's a GLP-1 GIP that acts in two ways to help you feel full faster, slows your digestion, makes you think about food less.
Right.
Tirzepatide exists and was created by Eli Lilly. Eli Lilly sells Tirzepatide branded for weight loss as Zepbound and branded for type 2 diabetes as Mounjaro. Tirzepatide, Zepbound, Mounjaro, they're all the same medication.
Yes.
Okay, then Novo Nordisk sells a drug called Semaglutide, which is a GLP-1, so it has one action on it, and there's a bunch of videos. We won't go into the science, but we have a bunch of videos on that if you'd like to watch them. That is so Semaglutide is the medication branded as Ozempic for diabetes and branded as Wegovy, which this is a Wegovy pen for weight loss. The pens are a little bit different in the way they act, but it's just because of patents. They both are very easy to use. No big deal there. So you will be taking a shot once a week.
Yeah. Taking a shot is really not a big deal. So we're in, I think, week 47, 48. So I guess I've given myself 48 shots. If you're just starting off, you're starting off on 2.5. It's a small dose in the of medication in the needle. I think all the Zepbound doses are the same amount of liquid. Isn't that what we've
That is correct.
So it's really no big deal. Christopher gave me my first couple shots just because I couldn't do it. But now with time, you get the hang of it. It really doesn't hurt.
At all.
Just a little bit, and then you're done.
And as you see success, you'll be, hey, I'm looking forward to shot day.
As you see those pounds coming off every week, you're like, yeah, give me that shot. I will gladly take that shot once a week for the long term if it means I can keep this weight off.
So that's number one.
That's number one.
Number two, you gotta eat protein.
Protein. I saw a meme on Facebook today that said, I didn't realize so much of my adult life would be consumed by thinking about eating protein. My goal range for protein is 80 to 100 grams of protein a day. You can go online, and there's calculators also on our website, thedownsized.org. We have a protein calculator where you plug in your height, your weight, your sex, and it gives you a guide or a protein recommendation. So why is it so important to eat protein? Well, protein keeps you full, number one. Number two, protein helps build your muscles. So as you lose weight, we also tend to lose muscle. It's just a fact of life. If
Your body doesn't discriminate. It doesn't go, I'm going to lose just fat or just muscle or just whatever. You're going to lose stuff.
You'll lose both. I started with a lot of muscle. I'm just naturally more muscular, I think, than the average 55-year-old woman. So I did lose a good bit of muscle, but it's really important to eat the protein, 80 to 100 grams of protein a day for me. And what does that look like? A 4-ounce breast of chicken has about 30 grams of protein. If you can get about 30 grams of protein every meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, you're there. Everything that you eat, it's best if it has protein in it.
Absolutely.
And eat your protein first. If you're sitting down to a meal with the protein and a vegetable and something else, eat the protein first, because your stomach is going to fill up so fast now that you're on this medication, and you may not have room for a lot. Your stomach will only hold so much. Make sure you get that protein in there first.
The interesting thing is, and people ask us all the time, what should I eat? What is no-nos? What's forbidden? Nothing's forbidden, but this is not a diet. This is a medical treatment for the disease of obesity. And the goal in eating more protein, and a lot of the things we're going to talk about, is to build eating habits that are sustainable and healthy, such that it's not just about losing 20 pounds or 50 pounds or 200 pounds. It's about a lifetime of being healthier.
Yeah, it's all about lifestyle changes. We've changed our lifestyle to eat more protein. We eat out a lot less. And I still love junk food. I still love donuts and ice cream, and I don't want to say any more foods.
But it's the ability to make smart choices. And like when we celebrated her birthday a couple of months ago, she didn't want a cake, she wanted donuts.
Yeah.
Okay, she had 2 donuts. We went on, and it's not the end of the world. Nobody felt bad about it. It wasn't a terrible thing. So you're living your life eating healthier, and the goal is to build sustainable weight loss and health. So we do it every day. Point number 3, what is that, Laraine?
Water. I don't have my water cup handy.
That's okay.
Oh, but you should drink at least, I think, half of your body weight in ounces of water every day. So if you're 200 pounds, that's 100 ounces of water. That's just a general kind of guideline. You should do what's right for you. You talk to your doctor about it. Some people don't need that much water. Personally, I find that I need at least 100 ounces of water a day. Today, I took my big Stanley cup to the gym, which I think is 40 ounces, and I drank 1.5 of those. So I've already gotten about 60 ounces in. I like flavor packets, the little things you can put in your water. All waters count. Sparkling water, still water, flavored water. You don't want to drink any calories, so be really clear that you're not adding juice or anything to your water.
Number 4, be prepared for possible side effects. Let me preface that by saying this is a prescription medication. Talk to your doctor about the goods, the bads. Read the literature about the side effects. There are very real side effects. It can be scary, though, so don't swirl into the, oh my God, life's gonna come to an end or whatever, because for most people it does not. There was a study done on Tirzepatide by Lilly called the SURMOUNT-4 study that really shows that most of the side effects occur between 20 and 30% of the time for people. And tell them about the side effects.
So the main side effects are constipation. You get some burping, some fatigue, maybe nausea. My main side effect has been constipation. I think I've always been struggled with that my whole life anyway, so this just kind of made it a little bit worse. This medication slows your digestion, so you're staying full longer, but also that food is spending more time in your intestines. So you need to make sure you're eating fiber, eating vegetables, drinking enough water, getting some exercise. All that goes toward the constipation.
Yep.
If you get really backed up and you have not gone number 2 in about 3 days, you need to take action with something like a Miralax. My doctor recommended Miralax for me, which you can also find on our website, or whatever kind of constipation remedy works for you. Yeah.
Yep.
What the burps and stuff's gross. Yeah,
but the real point on all of these side effects are this is a prescription medication, and you need to have a good relationship with your doctor such that they can help you manage them before they become a real problem.
So we've heard stories of people not managing their constipation, and then it gets to a point where they are.
And let's not obsess on constipation. That's just one of the things. And as I said, I think if you go back, and some of our viewers will correct me on the numbers, but it's between 20 and 22%.
Yeah, most people don't have that problem. Side effects at all. I've interviewed a lot of people on our series, The Downsized Dish, and people say, no, I had no side effects.
And I've had very minimal side effects. So, but again, prescription drug, this is serious. Talk to your local doctor. Let your family know what's going on, even though that's a little scary. That's it on side effects. Do your research. Let us know if you have questions. We're happy to help where we can. But again, we're not doctors, so make sure you talk to your local doctor. Number 5, when do you take a shot?
You can pick any day of the week to take your shot, any day of the week to start, but once you start, it's best to stick to that same day of the week and time as much as you can. We take our shots generally on Friday at lunchtime. We work from home, so that it's very easy. We'd like to take our shot on Friday because then we get the biggest appetite suppressant effect those first few days over the weekend when we tend to maybe go out or we're out with friends or maybe eat a little bit more. You can take your shot any day of the week that works for you. If you are off of work Mondays and Tuesdays, maybe you want to take your shot Sunday night if you get fatigue or something like that. You can play around with it. I've moved it plus a day or minus a day. It's best if you can stick to the same day. Also, that way you remember to do it. We have a friend who says, sometimes I forget to take my shot. And why isn't this working very well? You have to take it consistently every week.
Talking to him last night, and he said, it seems to have worked for you guys really well. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, I couldn't find it. I forgot. What's the secret? I said, take
the shot
every
week.
Every week.
Pick the same day of the week.
And he said, it wasn't working as fast as I thought it should. I said, are you taking the shot? He goes, well, I was losing, and he's a large man. Mm-hmm. He said, I was losing about, I think early on 5 or 6 pounds a week. I'm like, that's really fast.
That's really
dude.
fast.
So on average, Eli Lilly will tell you it's somewhere between 0.5 and 2 pounds. We usually say 1 to 2 pounds, but it's an average. So some weeks you might lose more, some weeks you might lose less, some weeks you might not lose any at all. Mm-hmm. But over the course of the last 47 weeks or 48 weeks that we've been doing it, I've lost 78 pounds. So this will help you lose weight if you do it.
Yes.
Number 6.
Number 6 is watch your alcohol consumption. This is where a lot of people maybe don't want to give up their alcohol. I'm a big wine drinker. I love a glass of wine. In the beginning, first 6 months, really, alcohol just made me feel sick when I drank on this medication. So as a result, I just stopped. I'm like, if it's going to make me sick, if it's not, why? It's just empty calories. I don't need to be drinking. And it'll help you lose weight faster if you don't drink. You can drink on this medication, but I would just recommend that you don't.
Honestly, we were on vacation the last week. Mm-hmm. And we were on a cruise ship, and you have drinks and that kind of stuff. And I had a couple, but it was not sitting well with me. It was upsetting my stomach a little bit, and I just stopped because it wasn't worth it. And it's like, it's extra calories, and it's kind of gross. So.
Well, and now I'm almost a year in, and I'm on maintenance. I take my shot at 7.5 milligrams, and I've been on that level for, I think, about 10 weeks now. So my body's really used to this 7.5, and I find that if I have a glass or two of wine, I don't feel sick like I did at the beginning. Mm-hmm. So it does, that sickness does go away over time. It's not like you're cutting it out forever, maybe cutting it out for some months at the beginning.
Yep.
Number
this
7.
This one will freak people out, I'm sure.
This is your favorite.
This is my favorite one. Exercise is not necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Exercise is not necessary,
it's not.
But
it helps keep and build your muscle tone. So you don't want to be a flabby bag of bones at the end of this journey. A lot of people are surprised when they are done losing their weight and they have a lot of loose skin, they've lost their muscle tone, maybe their face is sunken in. It goes back to eating the protein, number 1. And you don't have to exercise to lose weight. It's really all about the food. It is all about the food. And I've tried to exercise my way to weight loss, doing running and triathlons and half marathons.
You can't outrun your fork. Come on.
If I run 5 miles, that's 500 calories that I burn. If I sit down and eat a cheeseburger and fries, that's 500 calories that I just put back in. So,
20 minutes.
And just like that. So it really takes a long time to burn the amount of calories if you're overeating. I exercise every day, almost every day. Not every day. Probably 3 or 4 times a week on average. Mm-hmm. I went to the gym this morning. I did a ballet bar class that my gym offers. It's a 45-minute class. I know all the ladies in the class now. I know the instructor. If you start doing it, maybe it's scary at first because you don't know anybody. Reach out and talk to people and say, hey, and what's your name? My name's Laraine. And it's not so scary.
So exercise It's not necessary to lose weight, but it will help you with your cardiovascular. It'll help you
Yeah.
to get along and breathe better and do all those things better. It will help you with your muscle tone, and we do encourage it. So you do what you can do based off of your health level. Everybody's at a different point.
Right.
We've talked to people, if you watch our Downsized Dish interviews, everybody from someone who is running triathlons to someone who is almost an invalid. And they all have to do what they can do.
And one lady walks around her house. Like, she tracks her steps and walks around her house multiple times a day. Everybody does what they can do. But it helps you do your daily life activities. Like going upstairs, I think, is easier. You've found that to be true.
Oh, for sure. I'm not carrying, almost 80 pounds. That's
Yeah.
2 bags of concrete.
Yeah, even walking is easier. I noticed, especially when we were on vacation, my legs don't rub together like they used to. And that used to really bother me when we would go to a water park with the kids, is, you get that rub and it's just uncomfortable, and I don't have that anymore, so that's great.
Number 8, supplements and vitamins. I'll give you my perspective on this, and then Laraine has a slightly different perspective. I take a multivitamin every day. Every day I figure I'm not eating as much food. Food is primarily where your vitamins are going to come from, so a nice over-the-counter multivitamin. We have a link in our store if you'd like to buy it, but they're available at CVS, Walmart. Doesn't matter. Anywhere. There's nothing expensive about it. Take a multivitamin every day. Everything else beyond that is extra. So you may or may not need it based off of your side effects. You may or may not need it based off of your health and your position, so talk to your doctor. And you may or may not need it. But if somebody out there is telling you to go buy $1,000 worth of supplements, vitamins, all this stuff extra to start this medication, don't do it.
You can. It's up to you. We personally do not do that.
I would say don't do it.
And have you always taken a multivitamin, Christopher Durham? No. I've taken a multivitamin every day forever, since college. And I did Weight Watchers in college and all throughout my life. And they always recommended taking a multivitamin. And I tried to get you to take a multivitamin, and you take one and you forget and whatever. But now
I took a little bit of experimenting too. Some of them taste bad.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I just really don't like this. So we finally found one that I like, and it's the Centrum 55 Plus for men. They make a women's, they make a general one, but it's still a big pill, so it's painful, but it doesn't taste bad.
I had a physical back in March, and my doctor recommended that I take, along with my multivitamin, a vitamin D supplement, because as women, we need vitamin D and calcium. Biotin, which is good for your hair, skin, and nails. Fish oil. I can't tell you the benefits of fish oil, but if my doctor tells me to do it, I'm probably going to do it. So that's what I take. Ask your doctor what you need to take.
And then any of the other supplements that you may need for any of the side effects, you can get from just about any grocery store or drugstore. You can order from Amazon, you get online as needed. I would not stock up on something that you may or may not need.
Yeah, don't buy a 3-month supply. Buy a small supply to try it to start, because sometimes vitamins upset my stomach. It's different brands, like Christopher's saying. So, yeah, start
And
small.
you may not have constipation. You may have nausea. You may not have this. You may have... It's going to be different for every person who takes this medication. Number 9, your appetite will dramatically decrease. Do not forget to eat.
Yeah, and that's so weird, right? Like, I don't think I've ever, before I was on this medication, I never missed a meal. I never forgot to eat. I'd have friends who would say, oh, I forgot to eat lunch. What do you mean you forgot to eat lunch? Like, that did not compute in my mind at all. But now on this medication, I get it. I get busy. I'm working on something. I'm not thinking about food constantly. And it's so nice not to have that constant chatter of food noise saying, oh, it's 4 o'clock, you need a snack, it's almost dinner time, what's for dinner? I don't have that anymore. Because your appetite has so decreased, some people just are not eating altogether, not eating breakfast, not eating lunch. I really think you need breakfast, lunch, and dinner where you're getting 30 grams of protein, 30 grams of protein, 30 grams of protein. If I don't eat breakfast, I am not hitting my protein goal for that day, because physically I just cannot eat that much the rest of the day. Don't forget to eat. I recommend eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You don't eat breakfast.
Yeah, I don't eat breakfast. I very rarely eat breakfast. there's a lot of different theories on eating out there, and you have to pick what works for you. But the watch out I would say for this is, again, the premise for this medication is it's a medical treatment for the disease of obesity. It is not a diet. So many of those tricks and tips and diets that were created that were never long lasting, that never worked, you just don't need to do them anymore. So start this with a simple, repeatable eating plan. Make sure you get your protein in. Making sure you're eating fresh food, so get some vegetables and some fruits, because you want that fiber to make sure if you eat enough fiber, you should be okay on the constipation as well. Start with the proteins, the meats, the beans, the tofus, the yogurts, the whatever it is that you like for on the protein side. Fresh veg, fresh fruit, and add in carbs, add in fats. Give your body a good variety of things to eat. They're going to be less because you've got to stay in that calorie deficit.
You're just not going to be able to fit a lot in your stomach at one time. A lot of people combine these medications with keto or intermittent fasting or insert diet here. I've done all of them. You don't have to do that. Nope. You don't have to follow any particular eating plan. You can eat whatever you want. You're just going to be eating a lot less of whatever it is you're eating. If you eat something maybe heavily greasy, or sometimes you might feel sick on that.
And this medication will teach you there are certain foods you do not want to eat.
But you don't have to intermittent fast. You don't have to only eat keto. You don't have to cut out carbs. You don't have to cut out anything. You're just going to, maybe you'll eat a bite or two of it and then say, oh, I'm done with that.
And isn't that kind of the whole point? You don't have to count macros.
No,
any of that stuff.
I counted Weight Watchers points for years. I tracked and logged my food for years. If that had worked, I would not be sitting here talking to you today.
Nope.
Okay, so now as a result, I do not want to track my food. I need to track my grams of protein, and I will do that because I want to keep the muscle that I have, but I'm not tracking my food. But you can eat whatever you want. You're just going to eat a lot less, and you have to remember to eat. Sometimes all foods will sound gross, and you'll have an appetite for nothing. Find a protein shake, have a cup of yogurt, you do need to eat.
So eat your protein. Know how many calories you should be eating a day. So talk to your doctor, and there's calculators on that as well.
I don't feel like that.
I'm not saying you, but you have to know, right? Because if you're eating too many, you're not going to lose weight, and if you're not eating enough, you're not going to lose weight either.
Right.
So, generally, once you've done this long enough, you'll begin to get a sense for it. But particularly in the beginning, you might want to make sure that you're eating enough calories, if for no other reason, to make sure you ate enough.
Well, that's why I say breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Eat all three of those meals. I don't snack. We really don't snack. Sometimes we have the Ninja Creamy ice cream at night. But really, through the day, our snacking has just been eliminated because we're not thinking about it, because our food noise is gone, because we're not hungry. It's weird.
At the end of the day, this stuff works. So it gets you to our bonus one. What's the bonus?
Yeah, so here's a bonus number 10. Everybody's different. Everybody's experience is different. But on average, you can expect to lose at least 1 to 2 pounds a week. So this isn't fast weight loss, but it's very consistent weight loss. People want to lose 20 pounds in a month. It did not happen for me. The first month, I started at 193 pounds. I lost 6.8 pounds my first month, which actually I was thrilled with, because usually on Weight Watchers, I'd average maybe 4 or 5 pounds in a month. So 6.8, I'm like, yeah, this is working. Let's go. Month 2, I lost 5.4 pounds. Month 3, 7.6. So now I'm at 20 pounds. But your mileage is going to vary. Christopher Durham's mileage definitely varies from my mileage.
And I actually lost more this first couple, but don't go off those numbers.
No,
because
everybody is different, and you're probably not going to lose 10 or 20 pounds in a month.
Nope.
You're just not. It might take your body, you might not lose anything the first month. It might take your body going up in doses. Some people don't report any loss until 7.5 or 10 milligram dose of Zepbound, Mounjaro. Some people have lost 50 pounds on 2.5. So everybody's experience is going to be different. I really highly recommend logging your progress. I log the week number, the date of the shot, the dosage of the shot, my weight, pounds different, and then I put notes on there. What's going on that week? Was it somebody's birthday? Was it Thanksgiving? Did we go out of town? Was it a normal week? What's happening? So I can just go back and look and see, how
And
you're doing.
your chart is where?
You can download this at thedownsized.org under resources. It's just a Google sheet. Make yourself a copy. Don't plug your numbers into the online sheet because nobody wants to see that but you. But yeah, I think it's important to chart your progress so you can look back and say, oh, I'm losing 1 to 2 pounds a week. Great. This is what it's supposed to be doing. Or I'm losing 3 pounds a week. Fantastic. And that way also you can take this into your doctor and say, here's what I'm losing. Do you think it's time for me to move up in dose? Do you think I should stay on this dose? It's really working. You have some facts to communicate to your healthcare provider.
And I like to say this is a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Definitely.
It is not a sprint. So if you're going to start these medications, I tell people I would assume you are committed for a minimum of 6 months to a year to see where you're going to, depending on how much weight you have to lose. But it's not a 2-month thing. It's not a 1-month thing. This is a serious medical intervention for the disease of obesity.
And you can't just take the shot 1 month and then not take it the next month and expect to keep going.
You can do this. It's scary for sure. But for me, I chose to do it because I was 286.5 pounds at 5'10.5", 56 years old, and having a hard time getting around, and had high blood pressure and high cholesterol, sleep apnea, and just all kinds of things going on.
History of heart problems.
Yeah, history of heart problems in the family, and both of my parents died honestly due to weight-related problems. My mom wasn't much older than I am, so. Was it scary? Yeah, but it wasn't as scary as the absolutes of obesity. Because I knew where it was going to end up. The doctor was telling me every day. So you got to find your reason on why to do this. But it is possible, and it's consistent. You can do it.
Yeah. You can do it. We did it. We're just regular people in your neighborhood.
Just a mom, just a dad. We use Mochi Health. Can you tell them about Mochi, Laraine?
Health is our online healthcare provider. I've used them since February of 2024. Very pleased with their online doctor. Very pleased with their customer service. If you'd like to use my referral code, you can save $40 on your first order. My code is QIYG, the letter O, and 8. We'll put that in the description. And you just go to joinmochi.com. They'll get you signed up and talking to their online healthcare providers to see if this is right for you.
So thanks very much for watching, listening to us talk about the 9 things you should know when you're getting ready to start these medications. And please subscribe. I hope that you'll check out our other videos on our Downsized channel, and also be sure to check out, as we mentioned, our website, thedownsized.org. You can download Laraine's weight tracker for free and check out all the links of the products that we like. We are Amazon affiliates, so we do make a small commission on each purchase.
Yep. We hope you will like and subscribe to our channel. So you can also click the bell so you never miss an episode. But really, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on The Downsized. I'm Laraine Durham.
And I'm Christopher Durham. See you next time.
See you.